So I brought a map, have all the blade sizes. There's 8 blades total. So there's 00, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 3 and 4 have 2 blade styles. So one is direct and the other one is angulated. So the direct is more of that gradual max style blade.
Kind of like the anatomical version of it.
Yeah. So the A is angulated. So it's a little bit sharper of, you know, kind of upswing here. I'll tell you, every single VL that's come out on the market, their initial blade is angulated.
Yeah.
Because the math works. We hate change. We hate everything that's, you know, different. So we bitched enough that they came out with regular max style. My recommendation is maybe you get both in the beginning, practice with them, kind of decide what you want to go, and just go with it, right? And do what you want. I like the angulated, which I hated. I was a Miller 4 guy. Everyone got a Miller 4. And so I've never even been a Mac guy. But the angulated works, the math is there. So one of the key things to VL, especially the one scope, is, like I said earlier, the better the view, the less likelihood of success. Because again, it's math, right? We want to run that bougie or your ET tube with stylet or however you guys want to do it, kind of up here, and it'll guide you right in. So if you're too close and you have that really close view, then you're probably going to be unsuccessful, and it is very frustrating. I'm going to send some videos over. There's 5 of them from Dr. Miller at MedStar, or formerly known as MedStar, now it's Fort Worth EMS. I think the first one is mostly about the UE scope, so very similar, it all applies, but they do all the videos they downloaded from their patients, and he talks about the ones that were successful, the ones that were not, the ones that should have been. So there's everything in there. There's perfect intubations, and there are clusters, and definitely worth a watch, because there's a lot of guidance on how to manipulate your bougie if you're using a bougie. You guys use bougie or styleted?
Both.
Both. Okay. I have grown to be a bougie resistant for a very long time, but my personal opinion, and those who don't know me, I was a paramedic for 30 years. I technically still am, because I'm never letting it go. But you don't want me working on your back of the truck. Not today, anyway. But watch those videos. There's a ton of stuff to learn in there. Suction leads the way. Airway management's not a one-person game anymore, right? It needs 2 people to do it effectively. If you just kind of run your blade in there into a messy airway, you're going to gunk up the lens, so you're going to have to pull it out, wipe it off, put a new lens on, or blade. So we want to walk down the tongue, suction, again, leading the way. So, you know, if it's the dry airway, that's one thing, but certainly if it is not, then we want to do that. Power button here on the side. Hold it in for half a second. It'll start up. We need to double check, but it should automatically start recording. So they do recordings of video and pictures. So up to you guys certainly, but I tell people, don't even worry about pictures. Because what you can do is when you download this to your computer, if you want a picture, just take a still shot of it. Just screenshot it, and then you can compress it, put it in your VCR if you want to. If you guys are going to do that. Because if you want to take pictures, you have to stop the recording. The chances of restarting the recording probably isn't going to happen, right?
You better just keep
recording. You're just not going to think about it. So don't even mess with the pictures. Just let it record. You can always do screenshots. When you turn it on, you'll see the little red count here. It's counting up, so we're recording the video. If you don't see the red, it is not recording. Hold the power button down for half a second, it'll start recording. So, or you can take pictures. But if it shuts off or you want to turn it off, hold it for half a second. The red will go away, and then you can push the button. And every time you push it, it will put a camera icon, and it's taking pictures. You have to hold it down for half a second again to start the recording back. It's not necessarily a successful intubation until you've videoed the tube going in. not the stylet. Just because the stylet's in, doesn't mean the tube's in. So when you're in there and you put the stylet in and you pull this out, we have no record of it being a successful intubation, right? Because this could slip out when you're manipulating it to put your tube on. And again, that's why I say it's a, it's a two-person deal. But whenever you go in, a couple things. If you have a very large barrel-chested or big-breasted person, you can kind of hike this up. If it's still too big, and you guys should be used to this with the King Vision. Same thing. If need be, you can take this out and start your blade. You may have to come in sideways, again, depending on how big they are. And then you can put this back on. So when you come in, we're going to walk down the tongue, right, until we see our anatomy, one step at a time, and act like this is suction now, not ET2. So suction is leading the way, right? Suction, 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 and we're just walking it down as we go. And then you can slide it over and you can park it if you want. And there's also that, you guys do salad method in that training if need be. So you can do that. If you come in and you just go straight down, and again, if you muck up the lens, you have to pull it back out and either wipe it clean or change it. So one thing that you will do with VL that you're not necessarily used to, and we're probably going to hear some clicking on this guy because he clicks real easy, is you're going to have a little bit more of that bend. They beat us about the head and shoulders with those metal blades. They don't do it, stay off the teeth. Well, it's plastic, right? So less worry. We don't want to hike, but you will do that. So as you're walking down, if you come in here, sorry. That's why they're one patient use and not 400. Yeah. So as you come in and you're walking down, if you come all the way in and you're that close and you're like, oh my gosh, that is a beautiful sight. When you run this in, unless you have quite the angle, the math isn't there, and you can see it down here. We're going to miss, right? It's just not the way it's meant to be. So if we back it out, we put it in the vallecula, we want a 50-50 view. So 50% of the epiglottis, 50% of the cords. All we need to do is see the folds.
Yeah.
Because we know if we're above the folds, we're good. So while not necessarily the best picture, it's the ease of use, right? So we're in there. This is when you would call for your partner, right? Sometimes you guys don't have the ability, especially if you're out in the county by yourself. Just string that on, and then there's no loop in there. We need a little bit up, and then push that in. But we witnessed it go through, so now you can pull it out, seal it, and we're good to go, right? If you pull it out too early, you just don't have the video proof that it's there. Now you have capnography, things like that, but kind of the, one of the ideal reasons for video is to have it actually on record. So when you get down here, and you look again, you're going to have a little bit more of that back motion than we're used to. So, and you can if you grab it. You can be successful with it again if you're further back. But if you're down here, especially with a styleted tube, you're way less likely to be successful. Okay. And again, those videos will talk about, and you guys use the tactical bougie, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, it comes straight, and you can put your own tip in it on both ends or whichever end. So, and if you just run it up the deal, so. Easy peasy. And of course with this, green to the teeth. Green is good, red is bad, blue is worse. Because if you're here, you're probably not in. If you're on this blue,
You're way
we're
down deep.
way too deep.
You guys wanna give that a run?
Yeah, that, the other blade, the one that just broke.